On today's DNVR Broncos show, will the Broncos beat the Colts? We're giving our final predictions. Plus, we're breaking down the game, giving some prop picks, and then also looking around the NFL. What do the Broncos need to happen this weekend to help their playoff odds? We'll tell you who to root for this weekend, and it all starts now. Big game on Sunday for so many reasons, and there's one reason that we haven't really talked about on this show that I want to get into and give our final picks. Let's frickin' Bo Boys on the DNVR Broncos Podcast, live from the Toyota Lounge, driven by your local Front Range Toyota stores, and presented by Bet365. Use that code DNVR365 when you sign up. And of course, we are the DNVR Broncos Podcast. And to my left, I got Super Bowl 50 champ Todd Davis. To my right, I got Henry Chisholm. Behind the cameras, we've got you here. And yours truly, Zach Stevens, rocking and rolling with you today, guys. The Broncos, of course, we've talked about, is this a must-win? How big of a game this is? What it can do to playoff odds if they win or lose? But there's one aspect that's maybe even bigger than all of that we haven't talked about. The Broncos are on the verge of and this is so sad, yet so good. The Broncos are on the verge of their first winning season since 2016. Todd, you were a young pup in the NFL in 2016. The Broncos haven't had a winning season since. If they win this game, they get their 9th win of the season and guarantee themselves a winning season and break this disgusting losing streak.
I don't know if I was a young pup. You know what I'm saying?
Like third year in the league?
That was the end of my rookie deal. I think after the end of your rookie deal, you're like no longer, you're a vet now, like a salty vet, you know? Because they say 3 and done is like the average in the NFL.
Yeah. So you weren't a salty vet. You were about to become a salty vet.
I was a teenager.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, or preteen, because I'd say teenagers are the salty vets.
Yeah.
And then you get the big deal. You get to be able to drive a car. You get your freedom.
Yep.
You got a little more money in your pocket, and then life becomes good. So yeah, I guess not a true young pup. Especially, I mean, nowadays, like Sean Payton saying Bo Nix isn't a rookie anymore, and it's like, well, he kind of is. I mean, I get his point. Yep. Like, he's been around the NFL for a long time, so maybe not a young pup. How about I was going to call you a poor pup, but I mean, it's not like you were poor. Yeah. For NFL standards, a poor pup.
It's all right, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it was definitely a long time ago. Because, I mean, that was 2016.
Yeah.
I mean, almost 10 years ago. Like, It goes by fast, man. And that just means I think we've been rough for a long time. So I'm happy that we're in a much better place as an organization and finally going to have a winning season. I'm going to just stamp it. Like, there's no way we leave this season without a winning record.
100%.
Yeah.
Henry, are you? Todd and I are typically a lot more confident going into games, going into situations, making bolder claims. You typically are a little more level-headed with that and reserved. Are you comfortable guaranteeing a winning season?
I mean, I just am not a guy who makes guarantees. Like, it just seems like guarantees have trouble. But yeah, I mean, they're going to have a winning season. Like, they would have to really screw up to not do it.
So is that a guarantee or not?
I don't think I've ever made a guarantee on this podcast. I'm not going to start now.
It's a must.
No guarantees in the NFL.
So I want it on record because we already have the Toyota chat going back and forth about, is this a must-win game? And after we talked about it a couple of days ago, I've been thinking about it a lot and think I have a more clear view on this. But let's get everyone on record. Henry, is this a must-win game for the Broncos on Sunday?
Must-win has a definition. Like, you can look it up. It means, like, you're out. You're out if you don't do it.
That's
like, it's
elimination.
Over. Yeah. It's the same thing, though.
No, it's not.
No, they're the same
Two
thing.
different words.
I promise you, they're the exact same.
No, they're not.
Like, bad and terrible, two different words.
No,
both
one's
kind of the
worse.
same thing. I
One's
mean,
worse.
it's true, but I mean,
true.
Must win just has a meaning, and I'm not gonna. I actually read somebody put together. I can't remember where it was. It was like the Atlantic or something, but it was this long thing about the history of the phrase "must win" and how everybody's like the hot takes are like changing it now, and the clickbait is like changing it now. And it actually was very therapeutic for me to like see like, yes, it has a meaning.
But this is 2024. Like, we don't use words, meanings, and say them and expect everyone to understand what the definition of that was in the year 5.
Exactly.
Or
again,
the year
like,
1900.
must win.
A lot of definitions have changed.
Yeah, a lot of definitions have
But yeah,
changed. And so things have evolved. And just like what you're saying, that article that was therapeutic to you also showed you that meaning has changed.
No, I mean it's again must win. Like you must win it. They don't have to win. If they can not win this one, just win the next 3 and they're in.
Well, Henry,
They don't have to win.
a word
So
that
if they
you
don't
mentioned.
win, so you're saying if they don't win this one, then every other one would be a must win?
Yeah, I mean in theory, if they win the next
Yeah, see,
one,
it's-
but the
it's-
Colts
no.
lose,
Yeah, no,
then the
that's
next
not
one
true.
wouldn't be. But
That's
basically,
Yeah,
true
see,
then.
that isn't true.
Yep.
If they lose this one, every other game doesn't become a must-win in what your definition is. It's not. They would be like, in your definition, big games.
Uh-huh.
but
no,
not
if you lose
must-wins.
it, you might be done.
No. You might be. What you're saying is must.
But this one you
there's
might-
no
but again,
Yes.
room for error. What you're saying
You're
is
locked in.
there
I
don't
might
think
be.
that this
That's
is
room
good
for error. That doesn't make
podcasting.
sense.
I don't think anybody
So
cares.
Henry, you're saying no.
They care.
No,
Yeah, they
no.
do.
It is a must win. It is a must win. I think they care.
Yeah, they do.
It's
So
not-
Todd, you are saying it's must win. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm actually going to say this isn't a must win, but not for the same reason that Henry said. And Henry, maybe rightfully so, gives me crap that I said week 2 was a must win for the Broncos. And the reason for that is I agree with Todd's definition of must win. There's a little bit of wiggle room. In week 2, if the Broncos lost, which they did losing, their playoff percent chances went to like 5%, 8 or 5%. That's a massive hole to climb yourself out of. That's a 95% chance that you're not going to get to your end game of making the playoffs. So for me, that was a must win. Now the Broncos did the improbable. They did what 95% of teams aren't able to do. So when it comes to this game, and shout out to Alex, he says they do care about this in the Toyota chat. When it comes to this game, the Broncos are like 75% chance of making the playoffs right now.
73.
73.
Yep.
If they win, it goes up to like 91. I think
89 now.
Oh, it goes up to
Yep.
89 if they win. Okay, it goes up to 89 if they win, even better. And if they lose, I saw
46.
something that was 51. So 51, 46.
Yeah, next
So-
gen stats changed all those numbers in the past couple days.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
But it
Tuesday
doesn't.
morning it was one thing, now it's this.
That variable doesn't really matter to me because the Broncos will still be right around a 50% chance of making the playoffs. That's a lot different than the 5% chance that they had back in week 2. And so is this a must win? No. Is it a game that you'd like to have? Of course you'd like to be up at 89, 90, 91% chance, but I don't think the sky will be falling if they lose this game. And let's dive into this game, fellas. Todd, are you still feeling as confident that the Broncos are going to take care of business?
Yeah, I still don't feel like this is a team that will find a way to lose to. I think we've been a consistent team, especially the last couple months of the year. So I'm excited for the Broncos to go out and play the Colts and, get this must win and, continue on to the playoffs. I'd much rather have a 90% chance of making the playoffs rather than a coin flip to make the playoffs. So,
Totally fair.
Let's go out and win this game. Not make it easy on the Colts, not give them a chance to feel like they're in the game, because if we don't come out and punch them in the mouth, they're going to feel like they can hang on and play with us just like the Cleveland Browns did. Like, if we would have ended that game early in the first quarter, like, they wouldn't have had the same fight all the way throughout the game. So that's what bad teams do. I mean, they always come and give you their best punch, but if you can weather the storm, absorb it, and then punch them in the mouth, they usually throw in the towel quickly. So let's just end this game quickly and move on to the next one.
Yeah, it'd be really nice if you could. If next week we get to talk about, like, how do you go up in the playoff rankings? Like, what matchups do you want? Like, that'd be a lot more fun than can the Broncos actually make it into the playoffs, So it definitely changes the entire outlook for the season. It also, I mean, you think back to some of those other games they played, like that Chiefs game. It'd be really nice if you had just won that one, and instead this game isn't all that important. Like, you would still have plenty of leeway to lose a couple games down the stretch. But no, I mean, it's a massive game, and the Broncos should absolutely win, and hopefully they do, because it'd make the next couple weeks a lot more fun and stressful.
If they lose this game, are they no longer in the driving seat for like moving up in the playoff rankings? Are they just designated to that final spot?
It would depend on what the other teams do.
Yeah.
Because if the Chargers and Ravens
tougher.
also lose, then all of a sudden you're kind of in the same boat.
And you're just waiting on them to lose. You're not
Yeah.
actually in the driver's seat anymore.
Yeah. But if they win and you win, then they're still in the driver's seat too.
Yeah.
But
Although I
if-
guess you do play the Chargers.
If
Yeah.
the Broncos lose this game, they still control their own destiny. Now, maybe not for the 5 seed
Yes.
or the 6 seed, but they still do control their own destiny for making the playoffs. And that's why, like, it's just really tough to call a game that you'll still have your own destiny. Must win, in my opinion. But this is a game where, man, you can just create so much momentum. You can go 4 games over 500. That would be the first time the Broncos have been 4 games over 500 this late in the season since 2015.
Yep.
Since the Super Bowl season. Like, the Broncos have an opportunity. They can't actually clinch a playoff spot this week, but they can get darn close. But they can blow everything else, all the demons that have been hanging over them, they can blow all of that away and pretty much have a playoff spot. I mean, if they win this game, the Indianapolis Colts in a 2-way tiebreaker cannot overtake the Broncos.
Yep.
Simply can't. Now, it gets a little more complicated with 3- and 4-way ties. But in order to get to a 3- or 4-way tie, you're talking about the Colts have to win out. The Broncos have to lose out. The Dolphins have to win out. And then you might even have to have
the Ravens, yeah.
the Ravens or the Chargers lose out too. So, I mean, like, we're talking about just crazy things for that to happen.
Very
You
improbable.
pretty much eliminate the Colts this week, and it would be awesome to do that at home. And good news, guys, the Broncos are on a 3-game win streak at home. Bo Nix also has an opportunity to become just the second quarterback in NFL history to have 7 200 consecutive yard passing games as a rookie. Would join Justin Herbert. There's a couple of other big categories that he can join Justin Herbert and C.J. Stroud with if he just has a 200 or 250 yard passing game. So, I mean, a lot of awesome things on the line. For years, we've been talking about, for years, when it comes to the middle of December, we've been having the same conversation. Okay, mock draft time. Who are the Broncos drafting? It's this quarterback. It's this cornerback. No, now it's not those conversations. Now the conversations are good. Now the conversations are, you can pretty much eliminate a team. You can take a 3-game lead on a final wild card spot. You can jump up in the wild card rankings. So the Broncos are in such a good position this week. And Todd, you tell me, is it easier to approach a game when you're playing with house money, or do you like to have your back purely up against a wall like the Colts are?
No, you want to be playing with house money. I think your preparation is going to be easier, and then also the game feels easier. Like, not everything is so stressful. Not everything is like, I got to have it right now. I got to make this tackle. I can't miss. I can't have a bad block. I can't have a bad play. You feel like you have more to play for. And then even in years past, like, I remember booking like vacations around this time.
Yeah.
Like, I remember one season in particular, I forget which one, but like, I got tattoos like the night before the game. Like, it just was like, we're not playing for anything. It doesn't matter. We're all going to be done as soon as playoff comes. Like, it's a very different reality in locker room when you know you have a chance to go to the playoffs and you have a chance to, be pretty good this year.
Well, and Sean yesterday in the team meeting explained everything to everybody, which is interesting because he typically doesn't do that. I think football culture in general is like, you just go win this week's game and that's it. But he explained all of this to everybody. Mike McGlinchey was talking about it. Quinn Miners was talking about it, which is interesting. Did you guys talk about it this late in the season, just like the specific things that are on the line in this game?
Yes, when you are a team and making the playoffs is a reality or going to the Super Bowl is your goal, you have these conversations. I forget what it was where they had like kind of like the inside the locker room or meeting rooms where they had like, it was like the Bengals, the Ravens. Did you guys see that?
Yeah.
Oh.
And every single one of those coaches talking to the team, do you guys want to make the playoffs was one of the questions asked. Like, okay, if you guys want to be good, we got to play good football in December in order to make the playoffs and make a push. Like, if you are really a playoff caliber team, you talk about it. You have those conversations. It's only when you're scared to talk about it, or you think you might jinx yourself, or you don't want to bring it up, that you know you're not that good of a team, or you're not ready to talk about making the playoffs, making a push, being successful. When you are, we have tons of conversation, not just right now, but all year long.
That's interesting.
When you're a head coach that understands locker rooms too, you understand when to have those conversations, when not to, because just last year when the Broncos were 1-5, Sean Payton said like, no, we're not looking at the 2% chance that we have to make the playoffs right now. I'm not telling them we need all of these things to go on. We're just focusing on this next game and on this next practice and on this next play. Because the Broncos weren't in a playoff spot. And if he would have told them, okay, guys, we have a 1% chance to make the playoffs now, everyone would have been hitting the tattoo parlor the night before games and been like, see ya, this season doesn't matter. Instead, it was a much different approach where now it's, he's putting what's at stake and what they need to do to take care of business. And one of the things, Chisholm admitted that yesterday on the podium too, and he said, this team can handle it. Yes. And you can tell that he trusts this team big time.
And I wasn't in the parlor. I don't know if that gives me a little more credit. I did have, the tattoo artist come in-house, so I don't know if that's better or worse, but, I just want to put that out there.
Probably better.
Okay, so let's dive into some numbers of this game. We got a new fun segment coming up. We're going to squad ride this game together. Is that, no, not the right phrase? We're gonna squad bet this game. Well, the name is still in progress, work in progress, but we're going to get to that after I give a shout out to our friends over at Bird Call, where, that is impressive, Todd, where if you want the best chicken out there, they've got it. Let me read you some of these sandwiches that they've got. The Cordon Bleu, which is a crispy chicken, smoked ham, Swiss cheese, Dijonnaise, and dill pickles.
Do you know what that is?
It's dill. It's Dijon. Okay, I would imagine.
Mixed with.
It's an aioli. It's a
okay.
Dijon aioli.
Mixed with mayonnaise,
Yeah. What?
Okay.
Mayonnaise. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh, Dijonnaise. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, I thought you liked that.
How about the rancher? Do you guys know what all this stuff is? All natural crispy chicken, bacon, onion, jam, white cheddar, and the bird BQ sauce. Can you imagine what the bird BQ sauce is?
It's fire. I've had it before. It's
crushed up birds.
It's barbecue sauce from Bird Call.
And speaking of
squeeze the birds.
Speaking of fire, Nashville hot. You can even get it extra hot if you want. The one I went with when I went recently, the Southern chicken, pimento cheese, Southern coleslaw. And I mean, I can just go on and on with all the delicious food that they've got over at Bird Call. And if you want to check them out, they're going to give you $10 off any order over $20 over at Bird Call by using the promo code DNVR10 over at eatbirdcall.com. Grab this offer now. Use that code DNVR10 over at eatbirdcall.com.
And shout out to our friends over at Circle K and their Inner Circle membership. It's a free membership. It's easy to download. You enter your email and phone number to be fully enrolled. After that, all you need is your phone number to get deals. They have great snacks, anything you can choose from, chips, popcorn, candy. You got to check out our friends over at Circle K. They have deals every day on food, drinks, and more. You can sign up for the Inner Circle app with the Circle K app and receive 25 cents off per gallon on your next 5 fill-ups. Remember to download the Circle K app and sign up for Inner Circle for exclusive offers. New offers, purchase clubs, and sweepstakes are uploaded daily. It's a great app. It's a great membership because you just go in there and purchase what you were already going to buy, and they're going to give you 25 cents off your next 5 fill-ups as well as deals on food, drinks, and more. You don't want to miss out. Go to Circle K app and download now.
And shout out to everyone tuning in with us, and shout out to our presenting sponsor, Bet365. Hit us with a thumbs up. The Twitter chat has been very active today, absolutely trying to crush me. I don't feel crushed at all. People agree with Todd that this is a must win. People are now wanting to go to Bird Call right now, and I don't blame you. It is delicious. As Broncos Tube says, Zach is hyped. I'm hyped. I'm ready for this game, ready to go. And let's dive into some numbers of this game. Are we calling it squad bet? Is that what we're going with? What do we think?
Squad goals.
Squad goals? Okay, I like that. And then what happens if the bet fails, then we're just not a good squad? Yeah. You don't want our squad goals?
Why don't we just call it a heist? Because you need a team to have a heist, right? And you're trying to make money off of it.
You could do a one-man heist.
Not for a bank and the amount of money we're trying to make here.
Oh,
People have.
I see.
Okay.
That one guy. What was that one guy who jumped out the airplane where they couldn't find?
Yeah.
DB Cooper?
Yeah, DB Cooper. Wherever he is, I don't know. You know.
Yeah.
Well, the one
Ran out with
heist
some money.
you don't want to be that Chiefs fan guy. Did you hear his story? Like the Chiefs, Chiefaholic. He's like apparently the #1 Chiefs fan or something. I even think he
He
won
always
like,
wore like that stupid wolf mask to the games.
and he was like a famous fan for the Chiefs. Well, turns out that he was also a bank robber.
Wow.
And he got caught going down to an away game for the Chiefs. Got caught. Turned out to be this huge deal. Apparently, he's robbed like tons of banks in the past,
Wow.
like armed robbery, like very serious crimes. I think he just got charged for like decades in prison or something like
Wow.
that. It's just representing the Chiefs well, I can see.
Can you imagine the adrenaline rush like robbing a bank? I could never rob a bank, but it has to be like your heart has to be beating out of your chest, like getting the bag of money and trying to escape.
Have you seen those masks that you can put on? They're like super realistic, or at least like with the blurry cameras, they'll make you like look like there's like a Kanye mask, but you can't really tell it's Kanye. It just looked nothing like me.
Wow.
I think. I don't know.
It sounds like
I've been
you're-
tempted
you're-
before.
Yeah, it really sounds like you're brainstorming here.
Yeah.
I mean, and then you have all that money,
Yeah.
the adrenaline that you would have with that. Maybe
Yeah.
we're going too far down this hole right now because Henry's getting
we could do it.
Henry's getting a little excited now.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
What are you Googling over there? You finding those masks you were looking for?
Oh, I should. I
He's trying
found
to
some
make,
weird.
he's trying to make
But
a
it's probably one of those
back
things. Yeah, if you buy the
Right.
mask, like you're automatically on the radar.
That's the thing. So you have to use cash. You need to find it like in a store somewhere.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I really think, because the big thing is like the phone tracking, but if you just put that in the right place, like something that moves like on a train, like there's I live right next to that train station. If I just put it on the A line, goes to the airport and back.
Uh-huh.
Meanwhile, I'm off committing a crime, pick it up on the way out.
What
People
were
be
you
like, "Oh, you're
doing
going
on the
train."
way to the airport and then you just turned right around?
Well, I would say I love the train. I would do that. Like what's today? Thursday? I would say like every
You start
Thursday
for a
for like
year.
3 months. Yeah. Just go on a little train ride.
Yeah.
And then
You've put in way too much thought to this, Henry.
you haven't put in nothing.
Wow, yeah, it was just the name. He's like, whoa, speaking of, I've got all these
Yeah,
ideas.
you can do it. I really don't think it'd be hard.
I mean, you could do it, is what you should
Oh, I
say.
could.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there we go. Well, now you're putting incriminating evidence out there
I
right
know.
now.
I know.
Let's just.
We're done.
Obviously, now I'm not going to use the train idea. I'm
Definitely
not going
can't
to use the train idea
and
now.
Let-
it can't be on Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's stop you right now. Yeah, he isn't on some Thursdays. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
wow, this is
Yeah.
bad. Okay, let's get to our Broncos parlay. Is how Yahir put it. Very innocent of us right now. Just trying to win a couple of bucks over at Bet365. And what I want you guys to do, and what I've tasked you with, give me the best prop in this game that you like, and the three of us are just going to roll with it. And not convince each other one way or another. And we'll see what the odds are. And if you guys want to roll with us, we'll be rolling with it. And hopefully by Sunday night, we've all hit on this bet and win a little bit of money. But it's also a way to not just win money, but it's also a way to just kind of see how we think this game is going to unfold. So Henry, since you've you think about money a lot and winning or stealing money,
There are cameras on trains.
There's cameras.
Great point from the chat.
Wow, yeah, pretty basic thing. There's pretty much cameras everywhere.
That's the tough part.
Have you been following the big
World?
high-profile case
Yeah.
the past
Oh,
8
who
days?
hasn't?
Yeah, there's cameras everywhere.
You think it's really him?
I don't know, man. It's
Yeah.
he just carried all his evidence with him.
He did.
That's kind of weird
Yeah.
for being
Does
such a
remind
smart
me-
guy.
We have one listener who came to the bar once who's an awesome guy who worked for the Secret Service. And so like he said he like goes all over the place and is constantly like listening.
So shout out.
So I'm screwed.
Oh
But he
yeah, you
also
are.
shout out. Yeah.
Okay, Henry, let's start with you. What's your favorite bet this weekend for the Broncos?
Pat Surtain pick. I think
Whoa.
that's actually there's one play in
Whoa.
particular from that Patriots game where like it's a dig. It's like this big like whatever 13 14 yard dig. I can't remember which of their receivers it was, but it's against Christian Gonzalez. And Christian Gonzalez just like off the break, maybe there's a little separation, but Anthony Richardson, as he does, throws the ball a little bit late. And by then, Christian's just closed the gap, picks it off. And I think that just watching that play in particular, I was like, oh, Pat's going to get one this week because they're gonna go at him. Like, as much as you always say, like, oh, they're not throwing at Pat, nobody throws at Pat. Pat does get thrown at sometimes. And this week, with a quarterback like Anthony Richardson, who throws the ball late, who throws balls off target, even if it isn't necessarily at Pat, it could wind up in his vicinity anyway. So I think Pat gets one this week.
So first off, Henry, you want to rob Bet365 with this parlay, and I love it because you're setting the stakes
Pat's
high.
getting a pick. I was tempted by like a safety or something. But
I was expecting everyone to go like minus 120 on these bets. No, you're going. What is that? Plus 600, plus 500, plus 400?
It should be minus 120 because it's gonna happen.
Wow, I love the confidence. But what are the odds for that?
I don't know.
You or your hero will pull it up right now.
Oh, they might not have player props up yet.
Pat's, no, they do.
Oh, they do?
Pat, oh, I see. Just pull it off. It doesn't have to be the same game parlay. Pat's camp wants at least one more interception for Pat this year, and they think that will really propel him. Right now, he's the second favorite to win Defensive Player of the Year, but he has big odds behind TJ Watt. They think that will really propel him. So, man, getting it with 3 games left would be absolutely huge. I love all the reasonings for it, Hank. Todd, where are we going?
You know, it's funny because we didn't talk. We didn't
No way.
game plan. But mine also has to do with interceptions. But it's Anthony Richardson to throw 2 interceptions.
I'm correlated. I like
Correlated.
Two
Very correlated.
interceptions.
2 interceptions is plus 300. Now he has 9 interceptions on the year, but he has 7 interceptions in 3 games.
Yeah.
And so, you know, he's thrown 2 or more interceptions 3 times this year. And the last time he did it in back-to-back games. 3 interceptions one game, 2 interceptions the next. The last game he just played, he had 2 interceptions.
Yep.
So everything's pointing to him having another game where he has multiple interceptions. And last week, or I guess 2 weeks ago now, I picked Jameis Winston, 2 interceptions. I think it was like plus 350. That hit. I should have went 3 interceptions because that would have been big money. Nevertheless, I think this is a game where Anthony Richardson tries to take some shots. He either sells the ball or throws them too short. And, you know, whether it's Pat with one, you know, Brandon Jones with another, I think there's a way to get 2 interceptions.
Oh, my gosh. I love it. I absolutely think so. And that would lead to what I think is going to be a rout in this game for the Broncos. So I'm going to go Pat Surtain has 2 pick 6 in this game. No, I'm not going that. Those odds would be wild,
they would
though.
Still leads the NFL in interception return yards, which isn't like the most impactful stat necessarily, but it is maybe the coolest stat to lead the NFL in.
Is Nick Bonito in the top 5?
I don't know.
He's got 71.
I know there's
Pat's
only
at 100 something.
Yeah. Because Pat has the second longest interception in the NFL this year. Nick at 70. I mean, he's got to be close. I can check.
Yeah. Now, obviously, Nick only has 1, so he's capped out at that 71. But I wouldn't be surprised if he's up there because 71 yards is very much. So I want your guys' help to determine my leg here. I thought we were doing the squad, right? I might as well get the squad involved on my pick. I've got 4 different ones over at Bet365 that I identified that I really like. Now, the lame part is they're all right around minus 110. They're about even odds. I didn't go crazy with you guys. And let's just start with the negative one here. Javonte rushing and receiving yards combined, 49.5. I like the under there. I think all signs point to, man, coming out of the bye week, Sean looked at this running back situation, and he's going to go with Jaleel and Audric Estime because Estime's averaging 4.7 yards per carry this season. Jaleel's averaging 4.6 yards per carry this season. I'd take either of those. Javonte's at 3.6 yards, and his past 4 games have been super underwhelming. He's only at 2.7 yards, and 3 of his past 4 games, he's had 1 rushing yard, -2 rushing yards, and 1 rushing yard. Another game he had 59, but that is just, I don't think the Broncos are going to go with him. So I think we're looking at Javonte getting like 5 total yards in this game. And so the fact that rushing and receiving set at 49.5, I unfortunately like the under.
I think that one's tough because as we look through the season, Sean has never did what we thought he should with the running backs.
That's true.
Whether it's Bede having a good game, we think he's going to get the start, he doesn't. Estime having a good game, we think he's going to get the start, he doesn't. I feel like I have no clue what he's going to do with the running backs. So I'd be, hesitant with that one.
Okay, that's fair. Henry, do you agree?
Yeah. I like it. I'm also curious about the rushing receiving yards because I also think if he does play, it probably is 3rd downs, But also he isn't the most. He hasn't been the most explosive player on the field so far this season. So even if he does get 3 catches, it probably isn't hitting that number. You know,
I think rushing is 35 yards and receiving is 15.
Yeah, and that's probably about where it should be.
That's
also,
why I just did the combined and went the under.
Yeah, 2 Broncos are actually tied for 9th in interception return yards. So it's Nick Bonito, and I'll give you a hint on the other: a 56-yard return and a 15-yard
Brennan
return.
Jones.
Nope.
Jaquan.
Nope.
What?
Yeah. Jaquan's at 44.
Is it Riley Moss?
Nope.
Is Brennan Jones above that? Because I feel like he's had
PJ
a
Law.
few.
He is. He's 7th with 70.
Oh, okay.
He's
okay.
74, so he only has 3 more.
Okay,
so that was
okay.
actually a great guess. Nope.
Wait. You say it again?
2 tied for 71 yards, and it's not Pat. It's not.
Oh, Cody Barton.
Yep. Cody
Oh,
Barton. Yeah.
of course.
Yep. Yeah.
Good
The long
call.
one.
Yep. Man, that's awesome. Okay, so that was one of my bets. And let me give.
Also, real quick, 4 Broncos in the top 10 in interception return yards. That's crazy.
Awesome. That's big play. That is big time right there. Let me give you my next prop. I got 3 more after. Actually, give a shout out to who we're talking about right now, to our friends over at Bet365, where if you want to get in on any action, but specifically this action, we're giving you actual lines that are up at Bet365 right now. If you want to do the squad ride with us, deposit $5 over at Bet365, and they're going to give you $150 in bonus bets. It's actually deposit $10, place a $5 bet, and you're going to get $150 in bonus bets. Plus, they've got so many deals every single Sunday. They're offering deals when you do SGPs on Sundays. They've also got deals for tonight on Thursday Night Football. So make sure to get in with our friends over Bet365. Go to the App Store, download Bet365 app, or just scan the QR code on our screen that we've got right there. And they're going to give you $150 in bonus bets when you sign up using the code DNVR365. Deposit $10, place a $5 bet, get $150 in bonus bets, which you can use on this squad parlay that we're doing. And of course, you must be 21 and older, physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER.
Also, as we found out last week on the DNVR Broncos podcast, this is Q4 of the business year, which means that it's time to really put things in gear and make sure that you're hitting your business goals. Constant Contact will help you do that. They're the best in digital marketing. They can help you with your social media posts. As you've probably heard, 2 billion people are on social media. So if you take advantage of that, it's great for the business. You can structure your Instagrams, your Facebooks, your Twitters, all those sorts of things. And they make it super easy to use their program to make all that happen. They also have the SMS messaging. Also, is SMS dead? Did they change SMS with something else now?
It's just text messages.
Well, there's
text
there's
message.
iMessage.
Yeah, no, I think this isn't. Constant Contact doesn't need you to know about this. Constant Contact needs you to know that they can send texts to all of your customers, help them close their deals, reach out to people who've made purchases before, whatever it may be for your specific business, email marketing, all that sort of stuff, smartphones. Time to put the go in your 2024 business goals with email, social, SMS, and customized marketing campaigns built for you in just a few clicks. Ready, set, go to ConstantContact.com/allcity. Start your free trial today. Go to ConstantContact.com/allcity for your free trial.
Boom, and shout out presenting sponsor Bet365. Okay, so one of mine was Anthony Richardson interceptions. Right now it's set at 0.5. So if you want to be conservative, you can do that instead of Todd's, but I do like Todd's a lot, especially at that boosted plus 300. So that was one of mine, so we've already talked about that. I've got 2 more. Bo touchdown passes right now is set at 1.5. He's going to have 2. He's had 2 in so many games this season, and he's on a streak that's crazy, 200 yards plus 2 touchdowns. He's going to tie for the most a rookie's ever done that. So Sean's going to make sure he gets that. So I was surprised it was at 1.5 at pretty much even odds. So I really like that one. What do you guys think?
I like it. I think he's, like you say, he's been playing really well. He's been on pace. It's kind of been his average after the first 3 games of the season.
Yeah.
But he's been playing well. So I would take that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I mean, those ones you always worry if all of a sudden they're running the ball instead.
You worry about that with the Broncos?
I mean, a little bit less than with other teams. I'll give you that. It is crazy, though. I was just looking through the stats. I think that if you just look at yards per carry and total rushing yards and passer rating and total passing yards per game, the Broncos are actually, for the season as a whole, a slightly better rushing team than passing team. Again, that factors in the first month of the season where the passing game was a little bit rough, but that did surprise me to see that for all of the like disappointment we've had in the running game, they've run the ball slightly better.
When Jaleel and Audric run it again, it's over 4.6 yards per carry.
Bo
Yeah,
helped in the first half of the season.
Bo definitely helped with that. My next one and my final one, and you guys have to decide which one of these is the best. I'm going Courtland Sutton's longest reception over 23.5 yards. He's hit this in 4 of the past 6 weeks. One of the times he didn't hit it, he had 23-yard reception. So, I mean, Courtland is going deep, and Bo hits him deep often. I just think he's going to have, for sure, a 24-yard reception or more than that. What'd I say?
That's wild.
I didn't listen to that one. I missed it.
I'm good for a couple of those a game. You could throw that in the parlay, too.
Yeah, like the squad ride.
No, that seems that seems like easy money. What was the odds on that?
Pretty much even.
Oh yeah, that seems like easy money.
So is that your favorite?
I feel like that's easier than the 2 touchdowns, and that feels like not a gimme but a good bet.
Okay, so let's, Henry, what do you think?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, let's do Courtland Sutton, longest catch over 23.5 yards. Yahir is going to dial up these odds, and we'll get these odds for you guys. What? 23.5 yards. Sutton over 23.5 yards on his longest catch. So a little, all you need is one play. That could happen on the first play. Then we get Pat Surtain interception on the second play. Then Anthony Richardson on the third play with another pick. So that's what we're going to be rolling with. And if you guys want to roll with it, that would be awesome. Let us know on Twitter and social media if you roll with us. Of that one is minus 110. So Yahir's going to dial up those odds. Do you have it already? Wow, he's got it already. What are we looking at, Yahir? Drum roll. No way.
4,000
plus 4,291.
Yeah. It'll probably go down when they actually put him in the app, just because like when you bet Pat to get an interception and Anthony Richardson to throw to,
right?
It's like because they'll adjust for that kind of being not the same thing but similar.
But oh my gosh, we're talking about big.
But no, this is gonna be big money.
Wow! So all you got to do is like put $1 down, and you could be winning some money with us if you want to. Again, tag us on social media if you do decide to roll with us. And man, if this happens, it's going to be a very fun Sunday. It's going to be a fun Sunday regardless. Let's go around the rest of the league and look at the games the Broncos want to happen and who the Broncos should be cheering for this weekend outside of their own game before we get to our Broncos record prediction, because I've identified 4 games. And I want you guys to tell me if I'm missing any, but I also want you guys to tell me the odds of the team we want to win actually winning this game. We've got a couple long shots, and we'll start with the long shots. The Titans beating the Bengals. What are the chances of that happening, guys?
I think it's not going to happen, but with the Bengals defense and how bad they are, I mean, really it's a 50-50 chance to me.
In Tennessee, yeah.
Yeah, I think there's, they just need a couple plays to go their way against Joe Burrow and that offense, maybe like a tip ball for an interception or, a couple big plays. But their defense is going to give up points. So I don't think it's necessarily like a walk-off win for the
And that offense hasn't been great either. Like you watch him against the Cowboys and you're like, well, Joe
Burrow's going stupid.
Yeah.
You think so?
For sure. He leads the league in yards.
And maybe touchdowns?
Yeah. And Jamar Chase just went for...
Yeah. No, they have some good players, but also, what was the final number? They put up 27. And again, like at the end of but again, it's the Cowboys and they had like the whole blocked punt thing and that's how they scored at the end. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't. I think it's a toss-up.
Wow. I hope you guys are right. I would assume this is a win for the Bengals, but I really hope you're right. I was more concerned in that game, Henry, about the Bengals defense.
Well, yeah,
giving up
it's terrible.
20 points to Cooper Rush. Like,
it's
gosh.
maybe the worst defense in the NFL. They can't tackle.
Easily.
Oh, probably, yeah.
And they're
for
sure. Scheme is just crazy. Like, I don't understand some of the times where they are running plays. It just doesn't make sense. Like, the timing and the execution, like, bad.
He's viewed as like a great defensive coordinator, too.
Yeah.
But maybe his time has run out in Cincinnati.
And maybe just sometimes you don't have the guys, too.
Like, they have Trey Hendrickson, but that's kind of it. And also, like, Trey Hendrickson leading this league in sacks. You got to give him credit, but it's not like it's Nick Bosa out there. You know?
Nick Bosa
Why?
has fewer sacks than
Or like TJ Watt.
Bonito.
Yeah,
Same
totally.
thing.
But like, if I told you can either have Nick Bosa for this game or Trey Hendrickson, you're still probably not taking Trey Hendrickson.
That's true. Yeah.
And not to describe, but I'm like, I don't even.
But Trey's been good for a little while. It's not his first
he's
season.
been good. And like
Sean's
the
guy.
year they made like the run, they beat the Chiefs a couple times, but he was a good part of that defense when they went to the Super Bowl. They just don't have dudes on defense either.
No.
They've got one.
They definitely don't. Yeah. Very true.
Yeah.
So, man, I hope you guys are right. I hope that's a 50-50 toss-up. Maybe you guys will think this next game is a 50-50 toss-up, which would be great. I don't think you will. Giants beating the Ravens. And this isn't for the Broncos to make the playoffs. This is for the Broncos to move up in the standings. Drew Lock was going to start this game, but showed up to practice yesterday in a walking boot, so he's not playing. They're back to Tommy DeVito. Can he do it, Todd?
No.
No, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Those Giants are awful. Like, that really is the worst team in the NFL. And like, I don't even think anybody's close to them right now.
Raiders?
I think the Raiders would beat them by 10. And the Raiders are probably second, but the Giants right now are just awful.
Wow.
Like, even watching Drew, you just... I remember him so differently.
Broncos Country likes to remember him very differently.
But like when he's just like sliding on 3rd and 5, short of the sticks, so like just so many of the decisions he makes, on top of like the missed throws, and I mean the receivers aren't great. Malik Neighbors is falling off, like, but that team is awful.
Yeah, so
awful.
Like 1% chance. Is that what we're doing?
Like I might take the.
Upset?
I mean, this is the biggest spread ever for a home team, right?
What is it?
Biggest underdog, 16 points now, and it opened at like 15.
Oh my!
And I still think you gotta hammer the Ravens.
Wait, what's the money line?
Do you know how in college games sometimes they don't even offer it?
Yeah.
Like that's what I would do.
Oh my gosh.
I don't have it pulled
the
up.
The biggest underdog spread for a home team. Holy cow!
I think it might be.
That's not happening. But if it does, it would help the Broncos jump up in the wild card spot right here. Okay, let's get to 2 more games that I think have a better shot of actually happening. The Buccaneers beating the Chargers. And the interesting thing that people are going to have to keep their eye on for this game, Justin Herbert did not practice yesterday. He's got a sprained ankle that happened in this past game. Not only pay attention for that for this game, but if he's got a sprained ankle and he's not playing this week, is he really going to be able to play on Thursday? Maybe, but he's certainly not going to be 100%.
Yeah, that's very interesting. I think if Justin Herbert doesn't play, like, the Bengals will win this game.
The Ravens.
Bucks.
Or Bucks.
I say Bengals? The Bucks. But that defense is pretty good, too. Like, giving up the least points in the NFL. Like, they're a pretty solid group. So, it'll be a good game. But I think if Justin Herbert doesn't play, it all depends on if he plays or not. If he plays, the Chargers will win. If he doesn't, I think the Bucks will win.
I think if he plays, they'll kill him.
Kill him.
Yeah, the Bucks are not what they were at the beginning. I get they're on like the 3-game winning streak, but again, they beat the Giants. They
They've
barely
been winning
beat the
all
Panthers.
this month, but they're not.
I know, but like last week, again, I was here at the DNVR bar, locked into every one of these games, and it was an incredible Sunday. But they couldn't put the Raiders away. Like that whole game, you're thinking like, oh, Bucks got him. But they just like couldn't move the ball, couldn't score. Like they just weren't able to put them away until the very end, and it worked out for them. But again, the Raiders are awful. I think the Chargers might stomp them.
Even what happens if Herbert doesn't play? Do you give him a chance?
I'd still pick the Chargers, but I don't think they probably wouldn't stomp them.
Okay. And again, this one isn't to make the playoffs. This is a game that would give the Broncos a big edge going into Thursday night, because then if they get that win on Thursday night, the Chargers won't be jumping the Broncos in the wild card standings this year. So Broncos Country's cheering for the Bucks. I'm with Todd. If Herbert plays, I think the Chargers win. If not, I think the Bucks win here. But I hope I hope Henry's wrong either way, because you think the Chargers are going to win. And the final one, which probably has the best chance of hitting in the Broncos' favor, Texans beating the Dolphins. Do you think that happens?
Yeah, the Texans are a better football team. The Dolphins, they've been iffy even since Tua's been back. I don't think they have enough to beat the Texans.
This is one the Broncos... If the Broncos aren't able to take care of their own business, because if they take care of business, they don't have to worry about anything. But if they're not able to take care of their business, this is the one that the Broncos would really need, not just for this week, but for the course of the rest of the season. This is the Dolphins' hardest game. going forward. And if they lose this game, then they're pretty much done from the playoff picture. Broncos only have to go 2-2 throughout the stretch. If the Dolphins lose, don't have to worry about anything else. So Broncos country is really cheering for the Texans to win this game. And honestly, Todd, they should. Like you said, they are a better, well-rounded team.
I don't know.
I'm not as high on the Texans this year. That's why I want to play them in the first round so much. And I think this is a pretty even. I think this is a coin flip game.
Yeah, me too. I mean, the Jags. You can go through their last wins, or sorry,
we talk about the Jags.
The Texans. Last week they played the Jags, beat them by 3. That one could have gone either way. Cowboys.
With Mac Jones at quarterback,
exactly.
by the way. Maybe he's that good. I don't know.
And they beat up on the Cowboys when everybody was. They beat the Colts by 3. They beat the Patriots. But then you go all the way back, and before that, I mean, it's the Bills. And in between, they've lost like 6 games. So I don't think they're that good. I don't think the Dolphins are that good. It's to me, it's a toss-up.
Interesting. All right, so let's hope that let's hope that it's not a toss-up. Let's hope that the Texans take care of business. And speaking of taking care of business, will the Broncos take care of business? I want everyone tuning in with us right now in the Twitter chat to drop their Broncos Colts prediction scores. Let's see if people think it's going to be a blowout or if it's going to be a close one. But before we get to our predictions, I want to give a shout out to our friends over at Primo Hoagies, where, man, I'm just setting up your lunch plans. You're going to Bird Call on Friday, then you're going to Primo Hoagies on Saturday. Circle K, Primo Hoagies on Sunday, too, to get your game day platter, because you can order catering through Primo Hoagies. You can also go for lunch and get a bag of chips, a 1 Primo-size hoagie, 20-ounce drink, all for just $15.99, and Primo Hoagies has delicious sandwiches. And the key thing is their award-winning bread. It's baked fresh daily. It's par-baked in Philadelphia and shipped all the way here weekly so that you can enjoy the delicious bread that makes Primo Hoagies amazing. It was voted USA Today's best sandwich shop in back-to-back years in 2023 and 2024, so make sure to check them out at their Centennial location. Again, at that Centennial location, get a Primo-size hoagie, a bag of chips, and a 20-ounce drink for $15.99. Don't miss out. Swing by Primo Hoagie Centennial and treat yourself to the perfect lunch meal.
And head over to ruggedroadoutdoors.com and check out. They actually have a whole bunch of outdoor type stuff, but the coolers are the cool part. Because I mean, there's so many things that you can love about them. First of all, they're very light. I'm looking at a picture right now. A nice woman holding one up with one hand. That's how light they are. And
wow.
I mean, maybe she's strong, but she doesn't look like notably strong. They float.
Wow.
So if you're like kayaking, again, now I'm looking at a picture, it just floats right behind. You just tie it on, you just have your cooler all day. And they're like big coolers. They're durable. This next picture, a Jeep kind of like drove up on top of them. One tire on one of them, one on the other. It doesn't break despite being so light. And then also it'll keep things cold for up to 7 days. It keeps ice in there for up to 7 days. They're really great coolers. We had one around here before. I haven't seen it recently. But yeah, if you're outdoorsy, if you like to go on the river, if you go camping, any of that sort of stuff, make sure you check these out. Awesome gift ahead of Christmas. So get ready for your summer adventures with Rugged Road coolers. They're the best that you can find. RuggedRoadOutdoors.com. Use the code DNVR. You get 10% off your order. They're lightweight. They're durable. They always float upright. They're perfect on land and water. Leave the heavy old cooler at home. Get yourself a better cooler for the new season. Rugged Road, your ultimate outdoor companion.
Guys, we got some breaking news right now coming down. Confirming it as well right now that the Broncos have agreed to a 4-year extension with Garett Bolles. Left tackle is not going anywhere.
Smart, very smart.
Very
it's
smart.
A great move. Yeah, he gets more money. Does it say any of the terms?
The terms aren't out yet. I'm sure we'll find them out fairly soon.
I'm interested.
4 is a long time for a guy who's going to be 33 at the start of next season.
Yeah.
Like that's 33, 34, 35, 36, but he's playing so well. I mean, I certainly wouldn't make any changes to this line. It's kind of interesting. I wonder if you could say, hey, we'll give you the 4 years. We're going to pay you like we paid Quinn or pay you like we paid Mike. in that kind of 16, 17, 18 probably $1 million a year range.
Yeah.
You look around, 18, for example, would tie him for the 10th most of any left tackle. Cam Robinson, Colton Miller. If you're Garett Bolles, you probably say, we know Colton Miller. He's been in the division for a while now, and I'm better than him, which is true. Healthier than Cam Robinson. Obviously, top number 1 right now, $28 million a year for Tristan Wirfs, $27.5 for Trent Williams. Number 5 is Andrew Thomas at $23.5. Then you get to like number 9, Jake Matthews in front of those other guys. So I'm curious, $18 million a year is probably the baseline. 20 plus is probably likely.
I'm very interested to see what he gets because he was making like 17 a year, right?
Yeah.
And I talked to GB during camp, and he was like, if they just extend me for what I'm making now, I'll be good. Like, he's like, I'm probably gonna play one more contract. I want to be a Bronco for the rest of my career. Yeah. And so knowing that, I think that was what he wanted to start the year. But then he went in and played really well the entire year. So it's like, all right, since you guys took a little bit longer than I wanted, now you got to give me a little bit more than you wanted. So I'm interested to see these numbers, but I'm happy he got paid.
Yeah, so, I mean, this is definitely what when you have an elite offensive line, and Garett Bolles is playing at an incredibly high level.
Everybody's getting paid.
Yeah, seriously. I
That's
mean,
what happens.
You are now paying 4 of your 5 offensive linemen right now.
You think Luca's like,
oh yeah,
I'm next, baby.
Or he thinks, oh, this is impossible.
He's gonna say, wait, they shipped Luke Watt, or they shipped Lloyd Cushenberry out when they couldn't afford the center. Maybe they'll just replace me too. But this is it's a no-brainer. It didn't happen during the bye week, which was a little concerning, but it gets done now. Garett Bolles has made it very clear since training camp that he wanted to stay a Bronco for the rest of his life. Now he gets to do that. He'll be 36 by the time this contract is over, and he gets to protect Bo Nix and be next to Quinn Miners, Ben Powers, Mike McGlinchey for a long time now. The Broncos have a great offensive line, and it's not going anywhere.
Yeah. Also, so in the locker room yesterday, so Garrett, one of the more friendly guys on the team, talkative, big personality. He said yesterday that he wasn't talking today being yesterday, which is always kind of interesting because you're like, oh, he's usually talkative, but I guess like you only have to talk once a week. He's talking later on. And he did it in like his friendly, deep voiced sort of way. It wasn't like off-putting at all. But now in hindsight, you're like, oh, well, this was going on behind the scenes. Probably didn't want to get asked because, there's usually every other week when he has his weekly session, somebody brings up the contract situation, and now we'll get to talk to him today, and I have a feeling Garrett's going to be in a really good mood.
Oh, yeah. I think that's very safe to say. Sure. So that's the breaking news.
What
Garett
are the
Bolles.
odds we could stay on longer? Just because we're going to have a bunch of people coming in. That's more of a Yaya question.
No.
Okay.
Maybe we'll do a separate video after.
Okay.
But let's get to our picks because now the Broncos have a game, and Garett Bolles can prove that he's going to shut down this Colts pass rush here. And let's dive into the Broncos game. Let's start with this game. Todd, what is going to happen in this game?
The Broncos are going to get a win. Anthony Richardson is going to throw 2 interceptions, and Pat Surtain's going to have one of them. And what was the last one? Cortland Sutton's going to have more than 23.5 yards on one play.
Yep.
And the score of the game, I think the Broncos are going to, be a high-powered offense like they've been. 27 points to the Colts, 13. 1 touchdown, 2 field goals. That's all you're getting on Sunday.
And a 14-point win. Henry, do you think it's going to be a win as well?
Oh, yeah. Give me 27-10.
27-10. So you both like that 27 number. Both like
Broncos put 27 a lot.
Henry, yesterday I said it's more likely the Broncos win by 17 or more than they do lose this game, and you're kind of following that path. I like that a lot. I'm saying the Broncos offense hits 30 again. I'm going 34-17. The Broncos dominate the Colts in this game, and we're talking about a team that clinches a winning record, a team that's close to clinching a playoff berth as well. We'll get Ryan's picks in for this graphic later, but let's get really quick the rest of the AFC West games, and let's start with that Chargers-Bucks game. What do you guys think happens here?
Dang, I think it's too early to call it. Like, we don't know if Justin Herbert is playing, but I'm going to I'm going to err on the side that he does play. It's a sprained ankle. Yeah, wrap that up, take that up, spat it up. I think he'll be good enough to go.
Yeah,
I'm going to go Chargers with the win.
definitely Chargers for me.
Yep, and I'm going
Bucks are bad.
Chargers as well. What?
The Bucks are bad.
Yeah, but the Bucks are bad. Other games in the AFC West this week. Let me need to pull up the schedule really quick. Oh, we've got what is this? The Raiders playing the Falcons here. What do you guys think?
This is a rough one.
I think Kirk comes out his slump. He'll finally throw some touchdowns this week. Give me the Falcons, man.
I'll take the Falcons too, just because I have the massive lead in this whole thing.
Wow, you're already giving up here. Yeah, you got to go Falcons. The Raiders are that bad. And then another game in the AFC West this week. We've got the Chiefs playing the Browns. And guys, I'm shocked. This spread is 4 points. The Chiefs are only favored by 4 against the Browns. That shocked me. Do you agree with Vegas that it could be a toss-up?
Give me the Browns, man. Let's see what Jameis can do. You know, you never know. He wasn't close to beating us, but he did have almost 500 yards. So
That's very true.
let's see what he does against that Chiefs defense.
Yeah,
What are you doing, Henry?
I'll go with the Chiefs. Again, I think it's 50-50, but again, I've got my lead. I'm trying to
my
just
goodness.
take what you guys would take and ride this out for a few weeks.
Well, I'm taking the Chiefs too. So unfortunately, I think they do get the win here and get close to locking up that 1 seed. And then the final game in the division, we've got no, actually, we hit them all, didn't we?
Yep.
Those are our predictions. Okay, Henry, what else do you want to say about Bolsey?
Wow. Well, now you get to have some freedom with that first round draft pick.
Yeah.
I think that if you hadn't, and we talked about this before, but if Bolles were to leave, you were going to get worse at left tackle next year.
No
like
matter
your
what.
only options were to go out there and like say, is Tyron Smith able to stay healthy at this age? And if so, he still probably isn't as good as Garrett is at this point. And outside of that, it's probably a pretty clear downgrade unless you go to the draft, in which case long term could be an upgrade. But obviously short term, a rookie tackle isn't a good thing, especially with a second year quarterback. So I think the Broncos now have a bunch more flexibility this offseason. While it may not feel like it, and in just running through some of the numbers for the offseason, I'd say the Broncos probably can bring everybody back, minus one of the backup quarterbacks, and have at least $15 million to play with in the offseason. And the longer deal for Bolles means that number might even come up a bit because the cap hit's going to be lower next year. So I think you still have the opportunity to go out and grab, like if you want to try to find a stud linebacker, if you want to try to find, and there aren't many tight ends out there, you can go get one. The running backs, you want to make a run at Aaron Jones, for example, you're still going to have the opportunity to make some maybe not huge moves in the offseason in free agency, but that draft is now wide open where you can find a playmaker in the first round who can really help the team. Like you're getting better because of this deal.
That's what their first round pick is it's a playmaker. It's a running back. It's a wide receiver.
Yeah.
It's a tight end. It's a difference maker. Someone that's going to help Bo Nix just continue to elevate his game. You're going to give him that game-changing type of guy, while also, even more importantly, keeping him safe, keeping him upright. Garett Bolles has allowed 1 sack this year. 1 sack. That's incredible. And talk about a story for Garett Bolles. He's a guy that comes in as the first tackle drafted. He struggles for 3 years. The Broncos decline his first or his 5th year option. Then what does he go do during the COVID year? He goes out and balls, plays at an all-pro level, gets an extension before that deal is done, and then he gets another extension. He's going to be in rare air of starting and finishing his career with the same team. That doesn't happen, rarely. But in today's NFL, that doesn't happen. Peyton Manning didn't even do that. The Colts made the ridiculous decision to move on from him. Garett Bolles gets to have this because he's going to finish this deal at 36 years old. And man, what a cool story.
Yeah. Maybe one more. You know what I'm saying? You never know.
Oh, play till he's 40?
Everybody's playing till they're about 38 nowadays. You know what I'm saying? They found the fountain of youth. I didn't find it before I got out, but it's out there somewhere.
You found it here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving.
I'm not leaving. The show goes on. Give me that. Give me that.
My goodness.
Give me that.
First
That is
highlight being from the
incredible.
Dolphins game as a choice, but
Maybe it was a Dolphins game
I
from
love
way
it.
earlier.
Yeah, maybe.
I wasn't hit. Hey, he didn't give up 70.
He did not.
You know what I'm
He did
saying?
not.
That's
Yeah.
what mom.
Yeah.
He scored 20.
Yeah,
Yeah, 20.
he did his part.
Well, no, actually 13 because there was a kick return for a touchdown there. We got a super chat coming in from our friend Denver Shaden, who says, first round pick better be Tez Johnson. That just became a lot more likely with Garett Bolles staying. Man, what a blast. Fun show all around. Get breaking news. Bolles is staying, and we will be back on Sunday. Make sure to tune in to the tailgate and then after for the post-game show. Thanks so much for rolling with us.
We all silly like the mayor.